Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to try to talk a little bit louder so everybody can hear me. I've had a couple of comments that said, speak up, Ghost. So I'm going to try to talk a little bit louder. I'm in the process of trying to find me an external microphone and set it all up down here where it looks really, really cool like everybody else's. But, please bear with me. Today we're going to talk more about canning, simply because that series seems to be doing pretty good. And what I'm going to do here today is show you a couple different ways or just something to talk about. Show you some examples. These are green beans, and if you can see here all the goodness in the bottom, there's some onions in there, salt and pepper kind of stuff. These were canned on August of 2019. These are fresh out of the garden. They're awesome, by the way. We got here, these are pintos, and they were done in April of 2019. Lima beans done this year in January. Look at that. Oh, that just looks so good. We've got navy beans also done in January. We've got great northern beans done in January. And black eyed peas done in January. The last four I showed you, the black eyed peas and navy beans, the great northern beans, and the lima beans, I've done all these several dozen pounds over the weekend because the processing time is exactly the same for the beans. The green beans, I'm pretty sure they only need to be processed 45 minutes. You can look and check in the ball canning book or go online and check. But if I'm really not positive, I'll always go just a little bit longer just in case. But I'm pretty sure the green beans, being high acid, is you can actually water bath these instead of pressure canning them. I pressure can them anyway. I'm just a big fan of pressure canning, simply because I paid $225 for that thing. I like to use it as much as I can. But you can water bath the high acid stuff. I just chose to pressure can it instead because I have a pressure canner. But I also want to show you another option that a lot of people do and explain to you why I do it the way I do it. These are lima beans, vacuum sealed in Mylar. These are navy beans, black eyed peas, and pinto beans. These were all done in March of 2019. Here's two different ways to do your beans: canning them and then for long-term storage, and then vacuum sealing them in Mylar for long-term storage. I am a huge fan of canning, but I'm also a huge fan of vacuum sealing, with the oxygen absorbers type thing, simply because this is super long-term. It's a backup to what I have canned. The reason that I do both, and the reason that I would prefer canning, well, I can't say prefer because they both have their merits, is because I can open this jar with a spoon and go to town and eat, and there's like an awesome meal. It's already cooked. There's no preparation. If I don't have access to fire or anything, I can eat it cold. It's not going to kill me. I'm still going to get the same nutritional value out of it. And in the SHTF situation, we're really not eating to have these awesome, wonderful tastes that you get at a five-star restaurant. You're eating for nutrition, okay? You're eating to give your body what it needs. So you may hate Spam and you may hate beans, the whole 9 yards, but you know what? When worse comes to worse and you got nothing else, you're going to chew through the can to get to the Spam, and you're going to love those beans. In an SHTF situation, it's about getting nutrition. It's about getting what you need to function, not about flavor and taste. Now, it is great to have plenty of spices set aside, your salt, your pepper, all your other stuff to kind of season it a little bit and give your palate a treat to kind of, bounce around the different flavors. That's one of the reasons why I can so many different types of beans. And I have more types than this. I've also got the black beans, kidney beans, things like that, just to get a different flavor to bounce it around. I don't just have 500 pounds of pinto beans because that would get old really, really quick. But if that's all you had, it's doable. You might not like to eat it, but you can do it, and it'll keep you alive. These are great because they last, 25 plus years as long as the oxygen is removed and they were prepared correctly. And I have plenty of these. And I will be doing a video to show people how I get my vacuum sealed stuff like this. It's like a brick of coffee that you get from the store, the vacuum sealed freeze dried stuff, and it's a very, very easy process. I have some that I just threw in the oxygen absorber like you see on a lot of videos, and you seal it up and you wait for the oxygen absorber to do its work and suck it all down. And you know, it may work, it may not. I mean, most of them are made in China, so it is what it is. But I chose to take an extra minute out of my time while I'm preparing this long-term food storage, and try to find one where you can really see it. All right, these have a Ziploc seal on the top, and obviously a tear notch where you tear it loose, but it also has the Ziploc and then the tear. So when I do open this and open it and Ziploc it, I can seal it back up, and it'll stay for quite a while in here because they are dried beans, and they don't have any oxygen in it here. But these bags, you load them from the bottom. When you get them, the bottom's actually open, and you load them from here, and then you throw in your oxygen absorber, and you use your hair crimper or your iron or whatever you're using to seal it off. What I chose to do is I have a small vacuum cleaner, and I'm going to do a video with this. And I took a McDonald's straw, okay? And then eventually I went and got me a metal straw that they use in some of the bottom line, there's a metal straw. Since California made straws illegal, now they sell metal straws that you can wash, and you can put them in your little thermos and all this good stuff. But I took the hose of the vacuum cleaner and I duct taped, no bullshit, with duct tape, this metal straw into the end, sticking out about that much, okay? And I duct taped it real good, so when I turned the vacuum cleaner on, it was sucking all the air it could get through the opening of that straw. And what I did is I filled this up with the amount I was going to put in here. I laid it flat on the table. That's why one side is perfectly flat. I laid it flat down on the table. Oh, excuse me. After I filled it to the level I wanted, I took my hair crimper and I crimped all the way over, and I left about probably an inch to an inch and a half open on this end, okay? So I crimped all of this. Then I took the hair crimper and I went this way down with it, and I crimped like this about, well, you can see how deep I went right to there. So it's probably 2 inches down, and I crimped down this way. So I have a tunnel right here on this side. What I did then is I laid it down flat, and I took the straw and I stuck it through this hole that I left open, okay? And now I turn on the vacuum cleaner, and it sucked this. And now I put the oxygen absorber in here too. By the way, you can see where it's sitting right there on the flat spot. I put the oxygen absorber in here, but I figured why not just make the oxygen absorber's job a whole lot easier, which means it'll last for a whole lot longer. In case you got like a minute hole or a small leak, it'll still absorb this oxygen. So what it is, I stuck the straw down in here and I pinched the edge. I made it as airtight as I could, turned the vacuum cleaner on, and it just sucks all the air out, and I let it run for a good 30 seconds or so to where it drew it up really, really tight. And then I slowly pulled the straw out while I was pinching down here at the end of this canal that I made. I pulled the straw out. Now I'm pinching it closed so it's sealed off. Then I grabbed my hair crimper and I crimped the opening right here, and it's completely sealed. The oxygen absorber didn't do any of this. I did this with a vacuum cleaner, okay? Now, before you even consider putting these things up long-term storage, my rice and my beans, I go to the store, I get, 50, 60, 80, 100, 200 pounds, whatever it is. Even if I'm just getting a bag a day and I throw it in the freezer, it stays in my deep freezer for a minimum of 3 days. Right now, I've got some up there in the freezer that have been in there for about a week and a half. The longer you leave them in there, it's not going to hurt anything. What you want to do is you want to take these the beans, and you do the same thing with rice, by the way, and you freeze it for a minimum of 72 hours. You can go for 2 weeks or 2 months if you want to. Pull them out, let them sit on the counter for another 3 days, let them come back to room temperature gradually, so you're not storing a cold product in a warm bag, which could bring condensation, and we're not trying to get any moisture in the equation. You follow me? All right, so after it's come back to room temperature for another at least 3 days, and they can sit longer because you've already killed all the bug eggs, all the potential possibility for any kind of life in there because you froze it to death, okay? Now, when it comes time to put it in here, you seal it up the way I showed you. Now you've frozen everything, so you basically sterilized the product. And now you remove the oxygen. So even if you didn't sterilize the product, doing it this way, you could basically do it without sterilizing it, and it's still going to keep for the 25 years because there's going to need to be oxygen in there for any bugs or anything to live and start eating up your stuff. So as long as you remove the oxygen from the equation, you're good. This is the way I choose to do it. It works great. I mean, these things are rock solid, and it's awesome. The problem with this, why I lean more towards the canning of this stuff, is simply because to eat this, I've got a few hours of processing time. I've got to bring water into the equation. I've got to bring heat into the equation if I want to be able to heat it up and cook it fast enough to where it's edible. Otherwise, you're crunching this and it's a mouthful of rocks, and that just isn't going to work. So yeah, this is a great way for long-term storage, but this is step one. And then eventually you have to cook it. You have to make it look like this to make it edible. So why not go ahead and make it look like this now in these jars, and I can just pop it and eat it. Okay, it's like a glass doggy bag. It's awesome. This requires processing time, but this stores for a long time. And I've got my rice done the exact same way. I've broken it up into portions like this. I've even got some bags, the gallon bags, that hold I think it's right at 4, maybe a little over 4 pounds, close to 5 pounds in each bag. And then these are the quart bags, simply because I can open this, and this will, a quart thing of rice is probably, it's a good 1.5 pounds maybe. I mean, that's easy for my family. That's an easy 2 days of rice. You know, so I don't have to bust open a 5-gallon bucket with a 5-gallon Mylar bag and open it up and, you know, keep trying to seal it and close it and keep it legit, you know, safe. It's good to have massive food storage, you know, 5 gallons if you want to do it that way. But I mean, when you open it, you know, you're exposing it to oxygen, you're exposing it to the elements, you're exposing it to potential bugs and rats and things like that. So to me, it just makes it smart to break these down and store it in smaller units, unless you're feeding like a massive mag and you're going to be able to go through a 5-gallon bucket of rice, you know, within a week or so. Then you're fine. Another thing about these, and another thing about the 5-gallon buckets and the Mylar, these things are reusable. Not only are they resealable, but they're reusable. Like when I open this to eat from it, you know, even if it didn't have the Ziploc, because some of my bags don't, you know, I can legit open it from the bottom, pour out the amount that I need, and then hit it with the vacuum cleaner again, suck all the air out, and just crimp over a new area where I opened it, and I've resealed it effectively for as long as I want it to be sealed. Another thing is with these bags, because they're not cheap, if I were to open it up and use all the contents, all I have to do is put a little bit of soapy water in there, slosh it around, and rinse it out really good, and let it get completely dry, and you can reuse it. I've reused several of these in the past. There's nothing wrong with reusing your Mylar. You just wash it out and it's good to go. But I just wanted to show you guys this video because I see a lot of video of people dry canning, and basically this is dry canning but without the jar. I mean, it's vacuum sealed, it's good to go. But me personally, and this is just my personal opinion, I do have stuff that's dry canned, like my sugar, my flour, my rice used to be dry canned. I just transitioned all of it out of the jars and put it in Mylar, and then repurposed those jars for pre-cooked, ready-to-eat meals. And that's, to me, that's the key. I want it to be as SHTF friendly as possible. So being able to just grab a jar and pass out some spoons and go to town eating it, I can do that with this. I can't do that with this. Okay. And it makes, I mean, this is black eyed peas. This is black eyed peas. I can eat this. I can't eat this right now. This takes preparation. That's the key to it. And when you're doing your preps, you know, people always talk about layering your preps and spreading your preps out in different locations. That's all important. It's very awesome. But it's also very important to diversify your preps. You don't want all of your stuff vacuum sealed, because technically it's not edible right then. You don't want it all vacuum sealed. You want to kind of maybe spread it out a little bit. And I get way more mileage out of these really expensive jars by being able to open it up and eat it. And I just did it night before last with the chicken. We had chicken stir fry. A couple nights before that, we had, you know, spaghetti. I can't tell you how easy it is just to come downstairs and grab a jar and boom. I try not to eat a lot of my preps, but I'm at the mark now to where I rotate through them pretty quickly, which is very important, because now my stomach and my palate, they're basically 80% shifted into an SHTF scenario. I don't go to restaurants. I don't eat fast food. I don't do a lot of the crazy cuisine. I mean, I'm a rice and beans kind of guy. I'm a ground beef, chicken, ham kind of guy, which is all put up. You know, rarely do I reach outside of my realm and get a pizza. It did happen the other day because I like pizza. But you know, it's very important. I'll say it again. It's very important to diversify your preps. You want to be able to just walk in and eat, and I can't grab a Mylar bag and just eat. I can't do it. I can't do it. But with these jars, boom, I can eat right away. I can warm it up. I can not warm it up. It is what it is. I just wanted to pop in and express the importance of canning to several of the new canners out there. You know, I'm talking to. We've been talking here lately, that are finally just going to go ahead and pop their cherry and put a load of beans or something in their canners and get started. And once they do, they're going to be pissed at themselves. They're going to cuss themselves out. They're going to go look in the mirror and they're going to cuss themselves upside one wall and down the other, because they've had these canners for months and sometimes, some cases, years, and they've been scared to use them and been scared to try them. And trust me, I was the same way until I did my first batch. And then I went, are you kidding me? Seriously? That's it? That's all you have to do? I mean, why did I wait so long? And you guys are going to go through the same experience the first batch you can. You're going to go, holy shit, I could have been so much further ahead in my preps if I'd have started canning a long time ago. Every time I go to the store, I get jars if they're there. Every time I go, I get lids if they're there, just so I've got a backup. You know, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, when you go to Walmart or any of your other stores, if you see jars, get them. Even if you don't can, get them. Somebody you know cans, and somebody you know is going to need those jars. If there's 10 cases on the shelf, don't get all 10 cases. Get 2 cases. You know, let's not be hoarders here. If you get 2 each time, you're slowly going to build up your stock. You're not drawing attention, and plus you're not being rude, stealing all the jars off the shelf when there are other people that could use them as well. So yeah, don't be that guy. I mean, we're preppers. We already have some put back. Don't be that guy that goes in there and goes nuts. Don't be that toilet paper dude. Don't do it. You know, if you guys were smart, you know, last year when all of a sudden the toilet paper started coming back on the shelves, every time you went to the store, you got a case. You know, at least once a month, sometimes twice a month, you get a couple of cases and you put them back and you have a stockpile to where you've got, you know, a year's worth, maybe 2 years worth of toilet paper already put back, waiting for this impending, you know, new lockdown type thing, paper shortage, food shortage, the whole 9 yards. You know, it's not fear porn. I'm not trying to spread fear porn. It's simply fucking fact. People are dying. People can't get food. So it's time to really pay attention. Plug those holes that are in your preps, and let's get ready for whatever the future holds. Thanks for stopping in. I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the bottom. I love getting the questions. I love getting the comments. I try my best to respond to all of them. And I will talk to you guys later tonight. It is Friday, so tonight is the second episode of Prep Rally with me and Backwoods Prepping. It'll be at 8 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern tonight, 7 o'clock Central on my channel. And then tomorrow night at the same time, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, we will be on Backwoods and Prepping's channel for another episode of Prep Rally. We hope to see all you guys there. It's a lot of fun. I really appreciate all the support we're getting, and we're really excited about where it's going to go. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great one.